I just came across this news article in India today and I was quite surprised with what it said. So I thought I'd share it with you. So let's take a look. Indians see highest rise in sexual offence convictions amongst UK foreign nationals. Indian nationals in the UK saw the highest rise in sexual offence convictions among foreign nationals, increasing 257% from 28 in 2021 to 100 in 2024. And it's poignant to note that this data came from the MOJ, which is the Ministry of Justice. Before I talk about why it was surprising, let's talk about why it's not surprising. So we are currently aware that there is a rape epidemic in India. Do you remember the recent story about the Indian doctor that was raped brutally inside a hospital while she was sleeping in a lecture hall? That story and the details that I read and I reported on still haunt me to this day. We have cases in India where women from the caste Dalit. So let me just explain. The Indian Hindu caste system has different levels, and the very bottom level is the Dalits, often cruelly referred to as the untouchables. Now, as you can imagine, they are considered the lowest rung of society and paid accordingly. Many of them work as rural farm hands, and that means no indoor toilets, no running water. So when women need to go to the bathroom, when they're on their monthly cycle, they need to leave their home and go into the fields. This also means doing the same at night. And I recently read some articles about how many of these Dalit women are then raped in the middle of the night. A lot of the time it comes from the landowners and the rich men from the higher caste. And that some of these women are left hanging in trees. It's absolutely horrific. Look it up. Now, a few years back, the law was changed in India after a young, I believe she was a dentistry student or something similar. She was brutally raped by a gang of men in the back of a minibus. Again, the details are so horrific, I don't want to go over them again. After what happened to her, new laws were enacted in India, but however, they are not being followed. So this is an issue. This is happening. This is not something that I am making up. This is out there for you to Google. And now the MOJ is saying that the highest foreign nationality in the UK to commit sexual offences is from the Indian communities. However, having said that, this is not a reflection on all Indian society as a whole. This was 100 men. But I am pointing this out because this article came from an Indian publication itself. And I want to now take this narrative and look at Tommy 10 Shekels. Now, Tommy 10 Shekels has said over and over again that Indians are the good immigrants. Indians are the ones that they like. It's the Pakistanis, the Muslims that are the abusers. He even went so far as recently using the rape of that poor Sikh woman up north near Birmingham to say that we don't have a problem with Indians. We don't have a problem with Hindus. We have a problem with the other immigrants. However, the statistics have now said something completely different. And it begs the question, why is Tommy 10 Shekels not looking at these statistics? Why is he ignoring these statistics and rather pointing the finger of blame at the Pakistani or the Muslim or the Arab or the Palestinian communities? Why is he blaming people that arrive on boats when it's clearly down to people that have arrived on planes? If Tommy's whole ethos is about saving women and girls, why is he not talking about this? Let me explain. The same way that Tommy doesn't talk about the IGF being child killers and rapists and murderers because he's paid by Israel, he does not talk about India because of Modi. Modi and Netanyahu, Israel and India are exactly the same. Let's talk about occupation of Palestine and occupation of Kashmir. So of course, Tommy 10 Shekels is not going to call this out to the Oi Savaloys because his paymasters would not be happy about it. So we know why Tommy isn't calling this out and why he is shifting his finger towards other people and other migrants. But I also need to point out in this video that abuse of women and children occurs from all men of all backgrounds. The highest ethnic group to commit these crimes are actually white men, not Indian men, not Pakistani men, not West Indian men. It's actually white British English men. Now, knowing that, I have to also say this. Men of every colour, every race, every nationality, and every religion have elements within them that commit these crimes against women. The issue is our police systems, our governments, our legal systems. We do not believe or support the victims of these crimes. If you just look back to Rotherham, yes, everybody wants to talk about the Pakistani grooming gangs, but nobody wants to talk about the fact that several police officers who were serving at that time in that area have also now been connected with abusing those same victims. So that's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about a system that keeps letting women down, which keeps allowing women and children to be victims of these crimes. And now men like Tommy Ten Shekels, Nigel Farage are weaponizing this abuse of women's bodies to fit their political agendas. That's what we're seeing, whether it's the abuse of a white woman, a brown woman, a black woman. Somebody always has to use it for their own political agenda. You need to stop. We need to stop as a society, and we need to protect all of our women. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you're ready to talk about the hard topics, make sure to follow me.